If my children felt angry, overwhelmed, frustrated, sad, afraid, I was there. I named the feeling, I sat with them, I helped them process it, I gave them the language for what was going on so they could identify and communicate what was going on in their inner world. And for a long time, I still believe like this is what young children need. But adolescence changed the emotional contract. I had to learn something that felt impossible, and that's my teenagers' feelings are not an emergency. When my children were young, I took my role seriously. I anticipated their needs. I watched them for overwhelm. I prepared them for the world. I helped them come up with the language for their feelings. I believed emotional guidance is just part of mothering. I was the mother making co-regulation scrapbooks with stick figures with both of my children. Later on, we passed notes under bedroom doors. In many ways, I was the emotional doula for my children. Small children cannot regulate alone. Those feelings are emergencies. They need help co-regulating. They need help coming back from those big anger, big fear, big frustrations. Emotional guidance is not overbearing when children are small. It's a necessity. They don't have the tools to regulate themselves. They have to borrow our nervous system. Then comes adolescence. And I still know when something's going on with my daughter. I still know if she's off, if she's having a mood, if something's going on with her. Sometimes it looks like irritation, withdrawal, frustration, or just a generalized attitude. And my instincts are the same. Move towards her, help her name the emotion, process it, brainstorm solutions. And what I realized is that those repeated questions, what's wrong? Do you want to talk? What happened? Those were actually pushing my daughter away, because now my daughter doesn't need my help to process her emotions. Now what she actually needs is space to sort out how to work it out on her own. I've discovered that she has an inner world and an outer world, and I no longer automatically have access to that inner world. I am not just invited in because I am her mother. The more I pursue my daughter emotionally, the more defensive she becomes. Same thing with my son. So my children have to figure out their own ways of coping with their emotions. Sometimes it's texting a friend, listening to music. Sometimes it's going for a drive, taking a shower, or just simply having the feeling until it passes. I'm just one tool that occasionally gets used. But not every feeling needs to be processed out loud with me. Not every mood requires an intervention. Some feelings, especially by teenagers, they just need to be moved through them privately. And this is what I mean by detachment parenting. I'm not detaching from love. I'm detaching from the belief that every emotional shift in my child requires my immediate involvement. The hardest part of practicing detachment parenting is surviving my own anxiety and overcoming my own instincts. So what do I do instead? Instead of damaging the relationship, instead of forcing intimacy that's not there, I want to fix, explain, advise, solve. I see the mood. It triggers my maternal anxiety. But doing that, you can't force closeness. So doing that damages the relationship. It pushes my kids further away. So what do I do instead? I attend to myself. Sometimes that means I leave the house. Sometimes I call a friend. Sometimes I sit in my car and cry. I stop trying to regulate my children, and instead I start regulating myself. So what this looks like in real life, I notice the mood. It's unavoidable. The whole house notices when one of my teenagers has something going on. So instead of asking repeated questions, sometimes I'll ask one question, are you okay? And I'll immediately know, no, they're not okay, even though they're saying, yeah, I'm fine. So I don't repeat that question. I make myself available without demanding intimacy. I give space, and I continue with my own life. I make dinner. I fill up water bottles. I quietly fill up the gas tank. I behave as if everything is fine until I'm told otherwise. Love doesn't look like automatic access to my children's internal state and inner world. Sometimes it's that quiet trust, not indifference, not coldness. I'm available, but I am not forcing that intimacy. The more space I give my teenagers, the more likely they are to come back to me. Sometimes it takes a little longer than I would like. It's never on my timeline. But when it's voluntary, that connection, it's priceless. It's true intimacy, not that forced closeness that I was struggling. That kind of connection is much more meaningful than a conversation I forced because I can't tolerate my own discomfort. I still get to be the mother, but now I am mothering older children. And that means trusting that all those years of naming feelings, of sitting through storms, of drawing stick figures, that helped my children build emotional tools that matter, that they can use themselves now. I have spent years helping my children become themselves. Ultimately, that's what I want, autonomous beings that know their own minds. So somewhere along the road, I had to come back to myself. I couldn't only be the doula for my children. I had to start birthing my own life. If this resonates with you, subscribe. I talk here about parenting teenagers, detachment, philosophy, identity, and trying to stay sane while loving our children deeply.